Hello guys, welcome back to the Black Sweet Tonight African Rising channel. I'm your host Bakri Bernard Boma and you can call me Ben Carson. Alright, so today we are back in the news again and it's Ghana. It looks like Ghana is setting up as a trailblazer for Africa in terms of how to deal with the big guns. Now when I talk about big guns, I'm talking about the big muzzles, Europe, America, I mean the United States of America, and the big guy in the East. Alright, so what is Ghana in the news for this time around? Okay, so it appeared that Ghana's president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, traveled in a historic trip to Bern, the capital of Switzerland, to meet the president of Switzerland. It was historic last year because in about 60 years, that was the first time Ghana's head of state was tripping there. As to why it took so long, I don't want to dive into it, or I don't even care about it. All that I care about is last year and what went on. Now, what went on in Bern and why is it news this week? Okay, so in Bern, the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, expressed his profound gratitude, went on through all diplomatic protocols by talking about alliances and corporations and the historic nature of the trip, and then right there then to the president of Switzerland, the president of Ghana made it clear that Ghana was going to stop exporting cocoa to Switzerland. Wow, now that was huge in Bern, right in the face of the president of Switzerland. In Bern, the president of Ghana burned Switzerland. Alright, so now speaking about how it all appeared in the news. Now, you remember last week in our segment, we talked about the new WTO boss, Dr. Ngozi. Yes, an African who is there as the World Trade Organization boss to steer the affairs of the organization this time around for Africa's interest. Alright, so she proposed that because of how devastating this pandemic has been, it will be very good for the producers, the pharmaceutical companies that are producing the vaccines, to set up a plant and start producing these vaccines right here in Africa. So countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Tunisia and South Africa could start producing these vaccines and distribute. This will cut down the cost that African nations have to actually cough up to pay for these vaccines. Well, the pharmaceutical companies of the big guns has actually shut it down, citing intellectual property claims and all that they will want to produce it and sell it to the African countries. Well, now it has come in the news that if that is their step, Africans are going to advise themselves. And one of the ways that Africans are going to advise themselves is citing what the president of Ghana stated in Bern last year, 2020, about Ghana not exporting cocoa for Switzerland's chocolate anymore. Well, now speaking about Switzerland and chocolate, you will care to know that Switzerland import about 57% of all cocoa, which is the basic raw material for all chocolates that Switzerland eat, from Ghana. Well, that's huge. Now, Switzerland is about eighth importer of cocoa, the raw material for chocolate, in the world, according to 2018 statistics, importing about 108 million euros worth of cocoa to produce chocolate. Now, if you care to know, they also export a worth of 703 million worth of chocolate, a finished product from cocoa, to other countries, and they are about a 10th exporter of chocolate worldwide. So, well, wait, they import let me do the math, 108 worth of cocoa, the raw material, export 700 million. Wow, that's a huge profit there. How did we know that? That we could turn our raw materials into cocoa and get a whooping 600 million euros of profit. Wow, how did we miss out on this basic calculation for business and profit making? All right, the government of Ghana, led by President Akufo-Addo, has suddenly discovered a new way of making profit from their own raw materials, cocoa. And that is just what they told, Switzerland. They are no more exporting cocoa there anymore. Now, this come in after last year banter with their Americans. Now, when I talk about Americans, the United States actually decided not to pay what Ghana calls LID. Now, if you care to know what the LID means, the LID is what is termed as living income differentials, a sum of $400 money that is paid to all cocoa farmers in exporting countries to farmers over a ton of cocoa. So this means that if any farmer is able to produce a ton of cocoa, the cocoa being the raw material for producing chocolate, to any developed country, the developed nation is supposed to pay this farmer $400. Now, the United States says they were not going to pay that money, and well, the president of Ghana was at it again. He made a pact with Cote d'Ivoire, which is the world's leading producer of cocoa, and Ghana being the second. They went into an agreement to say that, well, if you are not paying, we are giving you no more cocoa. Well, that banter didn't last long, as the United States finally budged by giving in that, well, they were going to pay. And so, yes, Ghana and Ivory Coast won that banter again. And it seems he is not stepping there. So in short, the president of Ghana has found a new way to kick the big goons in the nuts, and it looks like he is not stopping anytime soon. All right, now it looks like the people that are actually going to suffer are the Swiss, because, well, according to stats, they have the highest per capita chocolate consumption. Now, if I talk about per capita chocolate consumption, it means what each person or citizen of Switzerland eats in terms of chocolate each year. Well, if you care to know, that figure stands at 10 kilograms of chocolate a year per every Swiss. Wow, that's a lot. And now if cocos are not going to go in, well, perhaps they'll get chocolate. But who cares where they get their cocos from? Maybe from Russia. Of course, if you get Russia, the chocolate will be brown. But of course, the choco will be late. All right, so that is it in that news. Now, in another news segment, Ghana is in it again. And it seems they are not taking off their leg from the pedal. Now, in this coming in big news, Ghana has won another banter with the UK Aviation. Wow, I mean UK. Yes, the pride of all nations. The king of all the Kardashians. Ghana has won a banter with them. And how did that happen? Well, recently, the UK Aviation and Airport Management, or who cares, at the Buckingham Palace released a statement that, well, for the sake of traffic, Ghana's flight from Accra, the Kotoka International Airport, were no longer going to land at Heathrow. Well, the United Kingdom's pride of all airports, and that they were going to land at Gatwick Airport. Well, as to how it was going to affect Ghanaians, well, Gatwick Airport is like the Chloe of the Kardashians. Not very beautiful, and sometimes you don't even know her gender. So, yes, so Ghanaians were rather going to land at Gatwick. And the Ghanaians, at first, they were going to be like, okay, we think it's not fair. Let's take some time to discuss about this, and we see how feasible it will be. We know this is not good for our people, but no, the Ghanaians just released a statement, and they said, you better rescind that decision, or we are going to advise ourselves. Now, it turns out that advising themselves means Ghana was going to pay them back in their own coin. Now, the Ghanaian Aviation Ministry and the Foreign Ministry issued a statement that henceforth, starting from the release of the statement, the flight from the United Kingdom were no longer landing at Ghana's Kotoka Airport, which is the country's international airport, but were now supposed to land in Kumasi, the second capital of the country. Now, speaking of Kumasi, the airport in Kumasi is not only a domestic airport, but transiting from Kumasi to Accra, it's really hideous a tax for any traveler to Ghana. Not only is it about 200 kilometers from Accra, but what if you want to go to Accra, you need something like this or that. Or even what we call aboboya if you don't want the Trotsky. And so that was basically it. So the pros and cons, and they actually came back to say that, well, we said it, we are taking our words back. Now Ghanaians can land in Heathrow again. So technically the Ghanaians have won the banter. Looking at the fact that, well, they were not really going to lose, apart from the fact that Gatwick is about 45 miles away from Heathrow himself, and well, is understaffed. And so if Ghanaians are coming, of course, they were technically going to meet less staff, which they really didn't care, because after all, what every African traveler needs is just landing in UK. We wouldn't really have suffered them so much. But yeah, we got our way around. It looks like Ghana, just as I've said, have found their way to muzzle their way up with the big guns, and every African should follow suit. That's what we want for Africa. We are rising, and we are certainly seeing how to talk our way out of the negotiations. Now, in other news, Stevie Wonder, born Stevland Hardaway Morris, a 71-year-old, has disclosed in an interview with Oprah Winfrey that he is finally relocating himself and his family permanently to the West African nation Ghana. Now, in case you were wondering who Stevie Wonder is, Stevie Wonder is the visually challenged songwriter, musician, and record producer with 24 Grammys and 74 nominations in the history of America. And yes, that's your man, the man who played the famous song at Nipsey Hussle's funeral. Alright, so technically, he is not your common blind man. Stevie Wonder started his music career at the age of 13, and ever since, he's always been in the news for the good news. And finally, good news, he's relocating to Ghana. Now, as to why Stevie Wonder is moving back to Ghana or Africa, well, this is what he had to say.
Because I want to see this nation smile again.
Oh.
And I want to see it before I leave to travel to move to Ghana. Because I'm going to do that.
You're going to move permanently to Ghana?
I am.
You are? Why?
Because I don't want to see my children's children have to say, oh, please like me, please respect me, please know that I'm important, please value me. What kind of is that?
Really, Stevie? Are you sure it's about that? Are you sure it's not because Ghana look like this now, as compared to then in 1994 when you initially declared your intention of relocating to Ghana? Well, that may be your leverage for those that are already criticizing Stevie Wonder for why he is moving to Africa and making it even public in a popular Oprah interview show. Because after all, his colleagues have moved back without even announcing it or making a fuss about it. But well, I might not side with those people that are blasting Stevie, because after all, we miss him. Yes, it's a long time since the ship sailed and he went in chains, and it's good to come this time on a flight. At least it's faster, and you are surely to come without a chains. Stevie, you are welcome to Africa, and you are surely welcome to Ghana. Racism is bad, and if you are coming home, you better come now. Okay, so I think it's good. It's good news for Africa, it's good news for Ghana, and I hope certain people that are already stuck in the diaspora and thinking to find their way out, there's good living in Africa. Africa now looks like this as compared to how you people think it like this. So yeah, people, Stevie Wonder is coming, and I think it's high time we welcome him rather than chastise him. After he's our granny, 71, we can take a lot of your advice. Stevie, come tell us all about it. How you play piano with your eyes closed. Okay, so that has been all the news, and this is the segment. This is the Black Tweet Tonight African Rising channel. Ghana is paving the way forward, and probably if that's why Stevie Wonder want to come, You are welcome, buddy. And I hope our other nations and colleagues would follow suit as to how to negotiate. The President of Ghana has surely shown it, and we cannot go away from it. This is your man, Bekwin Bernard Boama Benkasen. If you care to know, if you care to find out major improvement, major progress in Africa, the continent of our motherland, you should surely subscribe, destroy the like button, and don't forget to take the bell button for your notification. Be the first to watch, be the first to be informed. Don't forget to comment and let us know what other segment you want us to comment or produce for you and for you. See you in my very next segment.